Speak up.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Natural Healing Ninjas show with Laura Lee.
Hi everybody.
And Christine. And today we're with, well, I like to call her Lady Tie-Dye, but she
Totally works.
I've known her for a long time. And she's always been a healing facilitator and a wonderful
I
human
pay her
being.
to say that.
A wonderful human being, and she has done so many things to help so many different people, and that's why we're here today to talk to her about what she does and how she does it. Dianne, Brooke, welcome.
Thank you
our
for
show.
having me, both of you.
Yes,
I'm honored.
thanks for being
I'm
here.
honored.
We want to know what is it that you help people with?
My business name is Healing Hands of Happy Hill, but it's not about the healing being in my hands so much as I feel like I want people to take their own healing back in their hands.
Great.
So
Great.
Healing Hands is really about their own hands. I try to, because I do massage, my main therapy is massage therapy, which this is going on 26 years I've been doing massage therapy.
Wow.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. It's funny how one door closes and another opens. I had been a disc jockey at K-Otter radio station.
K-Otter!
Which was like my life. That's where I became Lady Tie-Dye.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of pulled out from under me, and I was like floundering, and I'd had friends who were in massage, and I thought, well, I'm a touchy-feely person, and
You are.
so I went to school and discovered how much I just absolutely love doing this. And so it was, there's always a blessing. There's always a blessing. There's always a good, you can always find something good out of the absolute worst situations. And that was it for me, was finding massage. And so I've enjoyed it ever since. Somewhere along the line, I'd long had an interest in hypnosis, because I thought, well, that would be kind of a nice adjunct to massage. And I had a friend, John Zulli, at the time in San Luis Obispo, that was like this master hypnotist, and he goes, well, when you're ready, you'll know. And then I finally called him one year and said, I'm ready, I want to know. And so he helped me, knowing me well and who I am, he helped me find a school happened to be in San Rafael. So every weekend for like a year, I drove up to San Rafael.
It's a nice drive, though.
It was nice, and it was absolutely an amazing experience. And so I added hypnotherapy to my repertoire.
Do people come to you for hypnotherapy?
People do. I haven't had as many lately, I think just because I energetically haven't been putting it out there as much.
That's right.
I've been so much just doing so much massage, but I do a lot of my other work. I tend to seem to be doing right now, not in the more formal situation, but less formal situations. Like, we might be having lunch here, and you can have conversational hypnosis, and
Is that right?
there are ways, yes, that you can just, and it doesn't. And well, and people always think, oh, when I had first gotten my certification in that, and I went and presented at the Rotary Club. I've been there a few times. When they get bored, they find, tie-dye's got something. and I get up to do a demonstration or something, just about energy. It's like, we're all energy. You walk into a room and everybody looks at you, what happens? You flush. You've got butterflies in your stomach when you get nervous, okay? You get your mind-body connection is solid, so ask for a volunteer.
Great description. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is the way it is. You can't separate those two. And everybody always go, oh, you're going to make her quack like a duck or what? And no. I said, I just want to demonstrate energy. So it would be like energy resistance, muscle testing, energy testing, and doing that. Think of something positive. Oh, you're strong. Think of something, the worst thing that we could demonstrate it right now.
Oh, okay. What do you want to do?
So put your arm out just like that. And so think of a beautiful place or someone that you just love, someone that you just think of something that makes you really happy, fills your heart. Just feel it in your lungs, feel it in your body, and then try to resist. It's not a strength test, but you're pretty strong, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So now think about something in the news or something in the world, something that somebody said to you that just brought a black cloud over you, that made you feel really bad. Yeah, so don't worry, I won't leave you hanging afterwards.
Yeah, I know. We should start with the bad one first. So we ended off with
No, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back around.
okay.
We'll bring it back around.
Okay.
So yeah, put your arm back out again, and just think of something that's, that's really distressing. Something that maybe you feel like you don't have any control over. Something that's just really negative. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Man, there
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
So then,
In there.
right, right, and don't want to leave you hanging. You know, what do you think about your project right now? How you're bringing all this
Yeah.
knowledge, this information, these
From experience.
wonderful resources to more people,
Yeah.
and what a benefit this is going to be to
Yeah.
so many people, and what a wonderful project that you're both participating in,
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
good that makes you feel when you get to sit here and hang out in the sun and go and talk to Michael Leemacher and Joe and everybody in there, and then you're going to put your arm out again and just think about how, see how strong that is. So that's the energy field, and that whether
Absolutely.
it's massage, whether it's hypnosis, whether it's Reiki. I got during COVID, what do? I'll get my master in Reiki.
Oh,
Something.
you did Reiki as well.
I did Reiki as well.
Oh,
and then
my
I had also am I talking too long? Okay.
No, absolutely. I want to hear it.
It's from being a DJ. I also had sugar at lunch. But with when I was studying hypnosis, I happened to be looking up some things, and I came across this guy, Gary Craig's website, and he was talking about this thing called EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques, or Thought Field Therapy. Originally it was Thought Field Therapy, which is slightly different, but it's the basis of everything that we do. Correct. EFT, affectionately known as tapping. And it was his website, who was the guy. There was a psychologist that had originally come up with this very complicated method of doing this. And then Gary Craig and it worked so well, he started teaching people how to do it. And Gary Craig was his student, who's actually an engineer, I think, and simplified the whole thing. And that's what we've been using since the 80s, is this protocol for EFT, for tapping, emotional freedom techniques. And there was his website, and he's going, well, you tap on this, and even though I'm feeling really worried about this test coming up, I love, honor, and accept myself. And I went through the little thing with him on there, and I was like, that's kind of interesting. I don't even have that issue, but I feel better.
Yeah.
So go to Hypnosis, my therapy training, and they did a day or two on EFT. They said, well, this is a great thing to integrate with your in your hypnosis sessions, and I have come to use EFT first in a hypnosis session because it kind of pinpoints what it is exactly. When someone comes for hypnosis and they're like, well, I'm just so stressed. Okay, I can kind of run you through how to relax, but do you want to get through why you're so stressed? What is it that's just watching the pelicans flying behind you?
We're right near the ocean.
And so by tapping, it's like, this is a very broad subject, being, what is it that you feel in your body? So EFT is really tuning into your body. It's more sensation than necessarily visuals will come up and words will come up, but you start with the physical aspects, and that's why this is an incredible technique they're finding for veterans with PTSD, who before, they said you can't really cure it, but they're having amazing success to the point of someone having a weekly session for 6 months had an 86% reduction in their PTSD levels.
Yeah.
And even their spouses who weren't attending but had a 40% reduction in theirs, just because of everything else that's getting eliminated.
Wow.
So as opposed, and talk therapy, now I'm not bad mouthing talk therapy is always important.
Yeah.
But it tends to revivify a lot of, especially with PTSD. So there are ways to kind of skirt around it, just focusing on what's going on in your body. It's like, no, you don't have to put any words to this, any particular scenario to it. but what is going on in your body? You know, I just feel this black bowling ball, and it's got swords coming out, you know, whatever's sticking out of my body, so nobody can come near me. It's like, okay, you know, and you take subjective units of distress, 0 to 10, 0 being totally fine, and 10 being look out. So, okay, I feel a 10. All right, and you get as many physical, visual details as you can, putting it in that way, and then you start tapping through these points. What are these points? These points are energy meridians along your body. So if anybody's familiar with acupuncture, acupressure, so these are points along those meridians. So EFT is combining, we call it like emotional acupuncture, because it's using cognitive behavioral therapy as well as acupressure.
Did we give the explanation for the acronym EFT?
Emotional freedom techniques. I did mention that, but it's always worth mentioning again. EFT is emotional freedom techniques. People call it tapping, but it's, yes, EFT. So when you'll hear, of course, if you just Google EFT, all kinds of weird businesses come up. But
so so the emotions are energy in motion, correct?
Basically, and when we have stress or illness, trauma, this is a great tool for trauma, it gets stuck in your body. And that's when we start having issues.
Yeah. In each cell, because that's
yes, at a cellular level.
Yeah.
Before I forget, there's a fabulous book. So I studied and I got certified through EFT Universe, which is kind of a groovy name, but EFT Universe, Dr. Dawson Church founded that, and he's written several books. If you read The Genie in Your Genes, as in Genes, genes, the genie in your genes, it's a really understandable kind of layman's explanation of epigenetics and all this, the energy like that. So they're really easy and a really good read to just kind of broaden your mind about, well, how can they say that, you know, thoughts control things? You know, you hear these things, change your thoughts, change your life. Well, yeah, that's true. Easier said than done. So EFT, emotional freedom techniques, you come up with that physical sensation of what's going on in your body, or if that particular sensation, maybe they just have the sensation, is there an emotion attached to that? So then you start tapping through the points. The side of your hand is you can tap along with me, is the kind of emotional, is the reversal point. So you would have your friend, person, whomever, just repeat after me. So even though I'm really stressed about I'm not.
The world news.
Yeah, I'm really stressed about the world news.
Even though I'm really stressed about the world news.
That makes me just want to hold into, crawl into a hole.
Which makes me want to crawl into a hole.
I love, honor, and respect myself.
I love, honor, and respect myself.
Even though I have this sensation of fear about the news.
Even though I may have a sensation about fear about the news.
I have this stress.
I have this stress.
Just about what's going on in the world. I feel it in my stomach. I feel it in my head. I feel like I have a blanket over my head.
I have a blanket.
But I love, honor, and respect myself.
But I love, honor, and respect myself.
This feeling of fear of the world.
This feeling of fear in the world.
Feels like a heavy ball hanging over my head.
Oh my goodness, feels like a heavy ball.
I'm just going by experiences of what I've heard people say.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not me.
Quite creative.
No, it's not me. But it could be somebody listening,
sure.
At some point.
That's
so
right.
that's
I just
the
want
point.
to make sure I don't tap it into myself.
No, you shan't.
I
And that's so side time out.
Okay.
A lot of people, they go, why would you be talking about negative things? Aren't we supposed to think positive thoughts?
Yeah.
Good question.
Do you remember Louise Hay?
Yes.
Louise Hay, right?
I love
Change
her.
your mind, change your life.
Mm-hmm.
She said about EFT, she says, honey, if you want a clean house, you got to see the dirt.
Oh, yeah.
And that was probably the best,
Good one.
best way to put it. So, because you have to acknowledge what's going on.
Absolutely.
To then move it
Yeah.
out, to
Sure.
move it along, move it along. so we can go back. Let's say I know somebody who was opening a new club, and she was just like, even though I'm so nervous about what's going to be opening night.
Even though I'm so nervous about opening.
And so we went through the whole thing in tapping. Just, are we going to fail? Is it going to be well received? And it's,
be well received.
I love, honor, and respect myself. And all these feelings that I have. And then you would start going through the other points, which was the eyebrow point. Nope, right at the edge of the eyebrow and the nose. So it's like all this stress. And you just give yourself reminders. It's like, am I safe? Am I safe? Right, and then you go to the side of the eye. I know it's easier with glasses. All the stress. Feel it in my shoulders. Feel it in my chest. All this stress.
Yeah.
And then you go under the eyes. All this stress. Whatever it is. I'm ready to let it go. All the stress, under the nose. All the stress. Feel it in my shoulders. I feel it. It's dark. Whatever. Then you go to the chin point. All the stress. My shoulders are heavy. So nervous.
Intestines.
Right, my intestines are knotted up.
Yeah.
And then you go, it's called the collarbone point, where the little dip is. And it's usually right here. But I usually just have people. There's a dip in the middle, and then just outside, so under the collarbone. So there's that dip, and just under the collarbone. Tender. I call that tender points. And the points that are sore are usually ones that need to be moved. So all this stress. Whatever stress. All these things that don't serve me. They're holding me back. Making me nervous. My intestines are all tied up. Sometimes you can just do this. And most of these are bilateral, obviously, except under the nose, because you only have one nose and mouth. But all these can do one side. You can do both sides. You can do both sides. Do this. And then you move on to under the arm. So when people are sitting like this, you're actually stimulating these pressure points under here. And think of how many times you're like going, or You're automatically, reflexively stimulating these points. Or we go, so under the arms, there'll be all this stress, making me feel bad, feels heavy. So that one, and then you have the top of your head. Again, it's like, So all this stress, I don't need it. I'm ready to let it go. It would take several sessions, but I'm ready to let this go. All this stress, all this worry, and you would go through your points again.
And do you give the patient or your client a
map?
Sheet?
Yes.
Oh, you do.
Oh, absolutely. And there's no right or wrong. It is better to get as close to those points as you can, but if you're a centimeter off, it's not going to matter. But it is. I mean, I did that in the market with somebody who was opening a new club, and this is several years ago. And I said, I should have you come over for this thing I've been learning about. I hadn't even gone through the certification yet. And I said, this is how it does it. And she wasn't even doing it, but she was watching me do it. And she's just like going, this is really weird, but I feel so good right now.
Yay!
So much better. It was just, it's like giving me permission.
That's what
when
the
you
ninjas
acknowledge
are all
it. Exactly. So it is. It's definitely a ninja skill. Yeah. And it's getting more and more popular. There's all kinds of books on it now and all kinds of YouTube videos, which I need to get my own YouTube video going on it. But so that's the one, the EFT, the tapping is the thing I'm really most excited about as far as ninja healing goes. It's you can teach it to children. So another organization is called the Tapping Solution, and they're in Newtown, Connecticut. And they do these world summits every year, which are great. They have all these amazing healing people. Have you ever looked at one of those?
I've heard of them, but I haven't.
They're really, really cool. And you can watch for free every night, and then You can buy the whole thing if you want. But anyway, so they're in Newtown, Connecticut, and after the Sandy Hook shooting, they immediately got all of their practitioners to offer. They had sessions for the emergency responders and staff and this kind of stuff. And, you know, like they have a nice video. There was a wife of a first responder, and she's like, you know, we couldn't even function, and it's like saved our lives.
It
So
would be nice if they had it for EMTs.
exactly. First responders are.
My sons are EMTs.
Oh, yeah.
What they see is
Incredible stress. Incredible PTSD.
And they only have. They go to a psychologist once, and then they should be done.
No, this is definitely. Also, they had the project in Rwanda after the genocide, so they sent a contingency there to teach the children.
Amazing.
So then it was Skype in those days. They had the children in Rwanda Skype with Sandy Hook, with these kids, and show them, and you know. So this is one of the reasons I like EFT so much. Kids can do it, old people can do it. You know, somebody can do it for you if you were quadriplegic. You know, I could be tapping for you.
Right.
Animals?
Yes, actually, you can also do it surrogate. So especially for animals, you would, because they have different energy meridians that, you know, essentially it's kind of safe, but not quite. But you can do surrogate.
Meaning you touch them and then tap or something like that?
You can.
Wow,
Well,
isn't that what?
Stepping back to just energy period, when my older son, both my sons were born at home here in Cambria. And I had
Wonderful.
two amazing midwives.
Nice.
And Miles, my older son, just turned 38 on Sunday. I know, it's like he was infant. I was nursing, of course, and he was just like every day was projectile vomiting. And I called my midwife, and she goes, "There's this. He's a chiropractor, but he does this other thing over in Atascadero at the time. Can't even remember his name, but he does this thing called muscle testing." And so I went over to him with the baby, and he goes, "Put the baby on your chest." And I'm going to hand you these containers with different substances in it. And I think Miles was probably throwing up at that time. And he says, "Milk." He goes, "Stop, milk." And I would normally have yogurt in the afternoon, and I didn't have any milk. And he stopped immediately. Yeah, throwing up. So he just happened. Well, it wasn't even so much. It could have been eggs. It could have been anything. It didn't matter what the substance was. But it doesn't matter what the substance was.
You found it.
Was that he determined. So again, it was a surrogate thing because I'm holding on to the baby.
Right. That's beautiful.
And when I do feedback sessions.
Biofeedback? Are you doing biofeedback? Yeah. Right on. Did not know
She's
that.
great too.
I believe it.
Yeah.
She's benefited from it, so yay, you know. And she does biotherapy, and you have to hear her explanation of
Yeah, I want to hear that.
It's amazing.
Muscle
Wonderful.
therapy. It's good
like
stuff.
trigger point.
Like what you're my favorite thing is teaching people how to do this themselves.
Yes.
Empowering people.
That's why I like the EFT.
Because there's so much healing.
Any tool that you can give somebody else.
That's the because there's so much healing to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, everyone's just been. There's a lot of collateral damage.
Healing hands is really putting it back.
Exactly.
That's right, and that's the philosophy of Natural Healing Ninjas. You do. We'll show you all along the way till you get there, but you gotta want to buckle up your sleeves too.
Well, and also to just understand that there are all these other types of therapies.
That's right.
Even if they're relatively new, you know, emotional freedom techniques was really kind of defined in the 80s, you know, which is not really
it's pretty dang
ago.
new, really.
And there's other things like that.
Myotherapy too was in the 80s.
I was going to say that's a newer one too. So I know I've heard of it and I've seen some videos on it, but just to be able to expose people, like, well, maybe that is interesting, or maybe that's not. Or,
That's what we're about. We want people to have a choice.
It's a smorgasbord.
And that's why we interview people like
love
you
this.
to make it say, oh, look at you can do this.
Yes.
There's something else that you can reach out for, and that's what we're all about. Now that
There's-
you're part of Ninja Nation.
There's so many in this area.
Yeah. There's
well,
so
Cambria's always been kind of there are a lot of witches here.
attracted a lot of healing facilities.
Healing witches.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, kitchen witches, green witches, we're all
White witches.
some of us.
So it's just knowing the magic, that level of
White
living.
sage. Did you see my
Yes,
white
it's
sage?
gorgeous.
I have poppies. I have. Yeah, I try to have as many
Sage.
healing herbs. Yeah, my atomically mutated white sage.
I want to turn it over here. Look at this sage. My goodness.
This is like a great-great-grandmother's sage.
Wow.
She's got a bunch on Cuesta Grade.
Yeah, that's where I get my
right
sage.
on.
So tell us about sage.
The sage on the it's one of the classic, besides sweetgrass, would be sage for smudging, as if you're Celtic, indigenous, cultures would smudge because it helps to eliminate negative energies. And I know I've had some clients sometimes come in and I'm like, whew.
Sage, man, sage,
which is great, and I'm honored because they tend to, they let it go, and it's just like, okay, I got to move it along. So I burn sage, and it cleanses that way. As far as your basic physical self too, not just an energetic self, but physically, it's a great gargle. If you have sore throats or any kind of respiratory things, make a tea out of that. It's a great gargle for that. So it's good for respiratory.
I never knew that. I've used sage for
great for cooking.
A long time, but I bet being out here, it's like a good protector of your home.
That's a really good,
because it grows out here and it's
and
so
it's
abundant.
kind of like,
And it's like right in front of the house. Okay, I'm protected.
Yeah.
So you've got some good.
See, I never even thought about that. That's pretty good. Maybe that's why it's got deep roots.
Yeah, look at that.
That's
How
a
long
big.
ago did you plant it?
Oh, golly.
30 years ago?
Come April, I will have been renting this house for 36 years.
Yeah.
So it could be about 30 years ago. Yeah.
It's a big thing of sage for sure.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It only grows around here on the coast too, I believe. White sage.
I do know people that grow it inland over the hills that are growing it, but it does seem to do really right.
It loves it.
Well, I know there's a spring that goes under the soil. I mean, I don't water anything, so.
Well, you're on primary water. It's just oozing through, serving you with a smile.
We're just drawing it out.
So how do we get a hold of you if someone wants to get a hold of you at all?
Well, thank you for asking. I do have a website which is not updated. It doesn't have EFT or my Reiki on there, but you can also call me. I know see, this might
inspire you.
That's right.
Put a light under my behind. Inspire. I have a website which is ladytiedye.com. LADYTIEDI, like Dianne.
Oh, gotcha.
So not DYE, but
okay.
die,
That's
like
good that you
Dianne.
spelt it.
That's why, yeah.
Yeah.
So ladytiedye.com, and all my contact information is on there.
Okay.
My studio is here in my house once my son's moved away.
Perfect.
And my last I got permission from my landlord to cut its own dedicated entrance into the bedroom.
It's a sweet place. It's
Thank
a
you.
real sweet place.
Yeah. So that's my little therapy healing room there, here at the house.
Okay.
So
that's, ninjas are everywhere. We just need to connect with people who are looking for us, because they are looking.
Yes.
And it's really cool that you're doing this. I mean, I'm so appreciative of it, and it's just wonderful to know that you're out here doing this, because it's true. People, and I think now especially, people are really looking to heal. We need to come together, and who knows what information is out there right now.
They need someone to support them while they're going through this healing, but they don't know where to look. And what we're giving our experience, not that we're doctors or,
No, we should
experts.
point out that this is not medical advice. This is
not
meant
advice.
to heal. This is,
This is for entertainment purposes only.
This is for informational purposes. This is for informational purpose only.
And what we want everyone to know that you're here, that we talked to Juan, the dog trainer, last week. Was it last week or the week before last?
Oh, I've heard about him. I've heard he's a great dog trainer.
He's amazing, and he's a poet, and he does all kinds of other things.
He's a physicist.
And he helps with technical stuff.
You never know who you're talking to.
Yeah, we're meeting such wonderful people.
That's one thing I miss doing is I miss my radio show all those years on K-Outer, and I miss writing for the Cambrian. So I had a weekly column for 20 years.
Oh, neat.
Column.
What was the column called?
Word of mind, word of mouth, and then I changed it to A Worthwhile Life because I had this intention of writing a book, and I thought, well, I'll get people used to that name, and thinking, trying to be a marketer,
Sure.
but artists are not very good marketers.
No, we're not.
So I